Okay, so in the previous video we had seen the solution up to question number 89. Now we will start with question number 90. So if you have not watched the part 1, then I will provide the link in top right corner, you can check that out. So let us start with question number 90. This question number 90 is from control system. The question is, the feedback control system shown in figure is stable for value of k and t. We have to find out the range of k and t for the system to be stable. So this system is negative feedback. Let us, if nothing is given, we will assume it negative feedback, and this is unity negative feedback. So for this, let us write the characteristic equation. So characteristic equation will be 1 plus gs, okay, equals to 0. So 1 plus gs is k into 1 plus ts, okay, upon s into 1 plus 2s, right. So this is going to be 2s square plus s plus k plus kts equals to 0. So 2s square plus, let's take as common, then 1 plus kt, then plus k equals to 0. Let's make RH table. So s square to the power 1 is to the power 0. So let us write down the terms. This is 2, this is k, this is 1 plus kt, odd term, 1 plus kt, and this is 0. And if you multiply these two, then you will subtract 0 and then you will divide by 1 plus kt. So only k will be there, right. So this is 0. So for system to be stable, then an RH table, first column has to be all the sign same, either all the sign negative or all the sign positive, okay. So for if 2 is positive, then all the sign has to be positive, then k has to be greater than 0, because this third term, this has to be positive in the first column, and 1 plus kt also has to be positive, okay. So 1 plus kt has to be greater than 0, then kt has to be greater than minus 1, and we know the range of k, then k is positive, then t has to be greater than minus 1 by k, okay. So let us say this is 0, this is minus 1, and k is positive, any positive number. If you divide 1 by any positive number, then that this 1 by k will be between 1 and 0. So somewhere here it will come, okay. So if t is greater than this, let's call it a, let's call it a equals to 1 by k, okay. So if t is greater than minus a, if t is greater than this number, then t has to be here. If t is greater than minus a, then automatically the t will also be greater than minus 1. So we can write here t will be greater than minus 1, okay, because this 1 by k term was not there in the option. So t was in terms of 1, so in terms of 1 we can write t will be greater than minus 1. So k has to be greater than 0 and t has to be greater than minus 1 for this system to be stable. So correct option with this we will have is C, okay. So let us go to the next question. Next question is question number 91, and this is from EMT topic or EMT subject from transmission line topic, okay. So question number 91, a lambda by 4 long high frequency transmission line. So length of transmission line we are given is lambda by 4 and is terminated into one, okay. So this is, let us say, a transmission line. Length of this transmission line we are given is lambda by 4 or quarter wave transmission line. This here will be load, is terminated into one impedance ZR. So load is ZR, and correct if Z0 be the characteristic impedance of the line. So characteristic impedance of the line is Z0, and this will be connected to a generator through ZG, okay. So the question we are asked, be the correct impedance of the line, then input impedance of Zn. We directly know for quarter wave transmission line, the input impedance formula we know is Z0 square by ZL, and Z0 we are given Z0 only, so Z0 square by ZL we are given ZR. So input impedance for this quarter wave transmission line we will have is Z0 square by ZR, okay. So correct option will be C. Now let's go to the next question, question number 92. So question number 92 is following figure represents. So we have to find out what this circuit represents. So A, B we are given. So let us call A, B our input. So we will have 4 combination 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. We have to find out this circuit represents which gate, AND, NAND or XOR. So to find out it, let us see, we have to find out output C. So before proceeding with the solution of this question, I want to tell you one thing, that if you have a BJT connected like this is, let us say, R, this is connected VCC, then you are taking output from here and you are giving input at base. So if register this is R is connected and you are giving input here, so this is, let us say, V input, this is let us call V output. So this V output you can write in terms of V input, that is Vi complement, because this circuit represents nothing but inverter. Okay. So if Vi is high, V0 you will get low, if Vi is low, V0 you will get high, because this circuit is representing a inverter. Right. Now if A and B both are 0, let us understand, if A is 0 and B is 0, see this this node or the anode terminal of both the diodes, let us call it A1 and A2. A1 and A2 are anode terminal of diode D1 and D2. So this A1 and A2 both are connected with 6 volt or the high voltage, we can say. So anode terminal is connected at high volt and cathode terminal is connected at low volt. So both diode will be on. Okay. If both diode are on, nothing is given, then we will assume then these diode ideal. So this will be sorted. So this will be 0 and this will be 0. Right. So if at base terminal input is 0, then at collector we will get high. So here we will get high. So output we will get high when input are 0 0. Okay. Now let us do the same analysis for other inputs also. So if both the inputs are 1, if A is 1, B is 1 and this anode terminal is also connected at high, then what will happen? This diode will be off, this won't be, because this is high and some voltage will be dropped across this R1. So this will be something less than this high voltage. If this anode terminal, then anode terminal will be less than this cathode terminal, then this diode will be off. If these two diodes will be off, then this will be open circuit like this. This is open circuit, then what will happen? This high voltage will be sorted with this base terminal. So at base terminal the input will be high, and then since this circuit will be acting as inverter, then at output terminal we will have low voltage, right. So if input is 1 1 or input is high high, then output will get low. Okay. So output we will get low. Now let us see what will happen with these two inputs, that is when either one is low and another is high. So what will happen? Let us see. So if I give, let us say A I am giving 0 and B I am giving 1, or input A is low, output or input B is high, then what will happen? This is high, okay, and this is also high. So if this is high, this D2 will be off. Why this will be off? Because this is high voltage and some voltage will be dropped across this R1. So this voltage will be something less than high voltage. If this is high, if this is less than high and cathode terminal is high, then this diode will be off and this diode will be on, because cathode terminal are having lower voltage than anode terminal. So in this case what will happen? D1 will be on and D2 will be off. Okay. Now if D1 is on and D2 is off, so this will be open, and this is on, then this will be connected to low voltage and this is connected to low voltage. Okay. So what is happening now? That D1 is on. If D1 is on, or D1 we were giving 0, so this is 0. If this is on, this will be sorted, this is also 0, and this is off. This was 1, this is off, so this is open, so this will be 0, this will be 0. It means that at base terminal of this inverter circuit, this is inverter circuit, so at base terminal if input is low, at output we will get high, right. So this will be high. Similarly for 1 0 also you will get high. Now what kind of gate it will be? At when both the input are high, then we will get low, otherwise we will get high. So this is the characteristic of NAND gate, right. NAND gate is A dot B bar. If you will give both the input high, then only you will get low. If both, you will get 1 1 complement, this is 1 complement equals to 0, then only you will get high, then only you will get low, otherwise you will get high. You can check it out. So the correct option we will have is C. Now let us go to the next question, number 93. This is from simple question from RLC, parallel RLC circuit from network theory subject. For the parallel RLC circuit, which one of the following statement is not correct? The bandwidth of the circuit decreases if R is increased. Okay, so question number 93. So for parallel RLC circuit, for parallel RLC circuit, we know bandwidth is 1 by tau, and for parallel RLC we know tau equals to RC, right. So bandwidth is going to be what, 1 by RC, right. So what is the option A? The bandwidth of the circuit decreases if R increase. So bandwidth is 1 by RC. So if R is increased, bandwidth will be decreased. Yes. So A option is correct. B option is the bandwidth of the circuit remains same for L is if L is increased. Yes, because bandwidth is independent of L, right. See, at resonance input impedance is real quantity. Okay. So what will happen? In parallel RLC, you write Y equals to 1 by R plus J omega C minus 1 by omega L, okay. And at resonance, this will be 0. So Y you will get 1 by R, and this is minimum. So Y minimum you get 1 by R. What question is? At resonance, input impedance is real quantity. So this option is correct. No, if input impedance is real quantity, then admittance will also be real quantity. Then B option will be correct. No, B will be wrong, but C is correct, right. And next is, at resonance the magnitude of input impedance attains its minimum value. No, admittance input impedance, no, admittance attains minimum value, but impedance is maximum. So D option will be wrong. B option is correct. Why it is correct? The bandwidth of the bandwidth of the circuit remains same if L is increased. So bandwidth is not depending. See, bandwidth, since bandwidth is 1 by RC, it is not function of L. So if you increase or decrease L, bandwidth will not be affected. So B option is correct. So only D option is wrong. In the question we are asked, for the parallel RLC circuit, which one of the following statement is not correct? So D option is not correct. So correct for this question, option D will be answer. Now let us go to the next question. It is again from network theory subject, and the question is the expression for resonance frequency for this circuit. Okay. So we know that if we have resistor RL, and in series of that we have inductor L, and if we have a resistor, this is resistor RC, and in series we have a capacitor C. For this circuit we know resonance frequency is omega naught equals to 1 by root LC into RL square minus L by C upon RC square minus L by C. This is in under root. Okay. So omega naught equals to 1 by root LC into, from this if we check RL, we are given R. So this is R square. This is R square minus L by C divided by RC is 0. So this is going to be 0 minus L by C. This entire thing is under root. So L by C if you divide, this is going to be 1 by root LC, then this will be 1 minus R square C by L. So this is the resonance frequency for this circuit, and the correct option with this is B. So we are done with the question number 94. Now let us go to the next questions. So let us start with question number 95. Okay. So question number 95 is, for the function ft given below, so inverse Laplace transform of this function is ft, then Laplace transform of ft, that is called, let's call it fs, will be what? This given expression, this is 3s plus 1 divided by s cube plus 4s square plus k minus 3 into s. Okay. We are asked find the value of k if limit t tending to infinity fet is 1. It means that a final value of ft is 1. So let us apply final value theorem. So final value theorem says f of infinity, that is limit t tending to infinity ft, we write limit s tending to 0 fs. Okay. So limit s tending to 0 fs is given 3s plus 1 divided by s cube plus 4s square plus k minus 3 into s, okay, and we are given this value is how much, 1. So if you put s equals to 0 here, then we will get 1 by, okay, so s was also multiplied there because this is limit s tending to 0 as fs. So if you take s common, limit s tending to 0, if you take s common from the denominator, and it will be cancelled out with this s, so you will be left with 3s plus 1 divided by s square plus 4s plus k minus 3. Okay, now let us put s equals to 0, so we will get 1 by k minus 3, and this value we were given 1, so k minus 3 is 1, and from this k we will get 4. So the correct option with this we will have is D option. Now let us move to the next questions. Question number this was 95. Now we will go to question number 96. Okay, so question number 96 is, so before that let me raise this one. So question number 96 is again from network, right? Find I1t for t greater than 0. So in this circuit, inductor, resistance, and the one 10 volt battery is connected, and we are given here at t equals to 0 this switch is closed, and before t equals to 0 this switch was open. So let us analyze at t less than 0. So at t less than 0 this switch was open, and this inductor was connected with this 10 volt battery through this 4 ohm. So at t less than 0, for long time this inductor was connected with this battery. Then what will happen? This inductor will be fully charged, and at steady state this inductor will be shorted. So at t less than 0, what will happen? There is a 4 ohm resistor is connected, and this 10 volt battery is connected, and this inductor will be fully charged, and this will be shorted. Okay, so the current was flowing, let us IL0 minus at t less than 0. Let us find out what current flow. So IL0 minus will be, if you apply V by R, then 10 by 4, this is going to be 5 by 2 or 2.5 ampere. So this is the inductor current, and let us make the circuit now at t equals to 0 plus. That is at 0 you will be joining this, right? You will be making this switch on. Then what will happen? One 4 ohm will come in picture, and the current flowing in this 4 ohm is I1. And we know at t equals to 0 plus, inductor will be replaced by its initial current. So initial current was flowing in this is 2.5 ampere, and a battery is connected here is 10 volt. Now we have to find out this I1. Okay, so this is 4 ohm, right? So total current is going 2.5 ohm, and this 4 ohm, two equal resistance are connected in parallel, then current will be equally divided. So I1 from this we will get half of this 2.5, that is 1.25 ampere. Okay, so I0 plus, this is at t equals to 0 plus. So this is, let's write it I0 plus. So this is I0 plus, it is 1.25 ampere, right? Now let us make the circuit at t equals to infinity. So at t equals to infinity, what will happen? Again this 10 volt battery is connected with this inductor, so this inductor will be fully charged, and at steady state this inductor will be shorted. So let us make the circuit at t equals to infinity. So these two resistors are there, 4 ohm, and current flowing in this 4 ohm is let's call it is now I infinity, right? Now again this inductor is shorted because this will be fully charged. Now this 10 volt battery is connected there. Let us find out this I infinity now. So this 4 ohm, this will be 2 ohm, and 10 by 2, how much current will be? This is 10 by 2 is 5 ampere, right? So again this 5 ampere will be divided equally in these two branches, because these two branches are having equal resistance. So this 5 ampere will be divided, then I infinity will get 2.5. So I1 infinity we got 2.5, right? Now let us apply transient equation. So we know I of so transient equation is, we know I of t equals to I of infinity plus I of 0 plus minus I of infinity e to the power minus t by tau. Let us find out tau also. So to find out this tau at t equals to 0 plus, what will happen? At t equals to 0 plus, we will make the circuit and we will find out this. So at t equals to 0 plus, this switch will be what? This switch will be on, and from this if you will look at R equivalent, so how much R equivalent will be? This 10 volt battery will also be shorted, because to find out RTH we remove the independent sources. So only 10 ohm, 10 this 4 ohm will be in parallel, and from this R equivalent we will get 2 ohm. So tau we will get L by R equivalent. So L by 2. L is how much? 1 Henry. So tau we got 1 by 2. Now let us use this tau. So I of t will get, I of infinity how much we got? 2.5. 2.5 plus I of 0 plus how much we found? I of 0 plus or 0 minus, this is same, this is 1.25. So this is 1.25. 1.25 minus I infinity is 2.5 and e to the power minus t by tau we found 1 by 2. So this is the I1t. So I1t is, we can write 2.5, this will be minus 1.25 e to the power minus 2t. So this is the final expression of I1t, that is the current flowing in this 4 ohm resistor. So with this correct option we will have 2.5 minus 1.25 to the power minus 2t. So correct option is B. Right. Now let us go to the next question, that is question number 97. So this is from digital electronics. So question number 97 is, which of the following terms are equivalent? Okay. So we know that for even number of input, XOR equals to XNOR complement. So for even number of input, both XOR and XNOR are complement to each other. Okay. So for odd number of input, both XOR and XNOR are equal. Okay. So XOR equals to XNOR. Now A, B, C, 3 inputs are there, so these are the odd number of input. So for odd number of input we can write A XOR B XOR C is going to be A XNOR B XNOR C. Okay. So first and 4 are going to be equal. So first and 4 are equal. Now let us check 2 and 3. Okay. So 2 is A XOR B XNOR C. Okay. And 3 we are given is A XNOR B XOR C. Okay. So A, this is XOR, right? So A XOR, let's call it B XOR C, let's call it X. So A XOR X, A XOR X, right? So we can write XOR gate A X bar plus A bar X, right? So this is going to be A X bar means B XOR C bar plus A bar B XOR C, right? And B and C are 2 inputs. So for even number of input, XOR and XNOR are complement. Then we can write A B XOR C, okay, plus A bar B XOR C. Okay, let's keep it like this. Now let us analyze this one. So this is A XOR B XOR C, right? So A XOR, let us call this one X now, right? So A XOR X, right? Then we can write it A bar X bar plus AX, okay? Then A bar X is B XOR C, so it's bar plus AX. So this is going to be A bar, and this is even number of input because we have 2 inputs B and C. So for even number of input, XOR is complement of XNOR. So XOR complement will become XNOR. So A bar, and we can write B XOR C plus A, and X was B XOR C. Okay. So B XOR C. So this was which one? A XOR B XOR C. So this was third one, and this was second one. And if we check, we got second one is A B XOR C plus A bar B XOR C, and this is A B XOR C plus A bar B XOR C. So second and third we got equal, right? So we can say first and 4 are equal, and second and third are also equal. So correct option will be A. Now let us go to next question. Next question is question number 98. So this question is from signal and system, from Fourier transform topic. Okay, so the question is the Fourier transform of a double sided exponential signal e to the power minus 1 by 2 mod t. We know for e to the power minus a mod t, its Fourier transform is 2a upon a square plus omega square, and for e to the power minus a mod t, if there is term signum t, then its Fourier transform we know it is 2j omega by a square plus omega square. If you know these two expressions, then you can easily crack this question. So e to the power minus a mod t, if you compare this one, the question is e to the power minus okay, so this is e to the power minus 1 by 2, okay, so this is 1 by 2 mod t. So instead of a, or a value we have here is 1 by 2. So if you put a equals to 1 by 2 in this, so you will get 2 into 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 square plus omega square, right? So from this you will get 1 by 1 plus 4 omega square by 4. So answer you will get 4 by 1 plus 4 omega square. So correct option is 4 by 1 plus 4 omega square, D. So let's go to next question. Next question is question number 99. Question is a uniform plane magnitude wave incident normally on a plane surface of a dielectric material is reflected, and the percentage of reflected power is 64%. So how much power is reflected divided by how much power is incident is. In percentage we write, this is in percentage equals to reflection coefficient का whole square into 100, this much percent, right? So this much we are given is 64% equals to mod of reflection coefficient square into 100 percentage. So reflection coefficient, mod of reflection coefficient whole square, you will get 64 by 100, right? So from this reflection coefficient square you will get okay, so from this you will get it is 0.64, and you can find out mod of reflection coefficient is 0.8. Now the question is what is VSWR? So voltage standing wave ratio, VSWR, we know its expression, that is 1 plus reflection coefficient magnitude upon 1 minus reflection coefficient magnitude, right? So this is a 1 plus 0.8 divided by 1 minus 0.8, okay. So this will come out to be 1.8 divided by 0.2, okay. So this will be 9. So correct option is going to be A. So this is the correct. Now let us go to next question, number 100th question. So the question is a communication channel with AWGN operating at a signal to noise ratio FNR. So we are given, this is question number 100. So SNR we are given much greater than 1, and bandwidth B, so bandwidth B, and a channel capacity C. We know for AWGN the channel capacity formula is C equals to bandwidth B log 2 1 plus SNR. For AWGN noise the channel capacity formula is bandwidth log 2 1 plus FNR. So bandwidth we are given B, and since FNR is much greater than 1, so 1 will be neglected with respect to this SNR. So we can write B log 2 only SNR, right? So this is the channel capacity. Now if this bandwidth is B, then the channel capacity is C. So let us call it C1. This is C1 if bandwidth is B. Now what we are asked, if the SNR is doubled keeping B constant, so C2 will be keeping B constant and FNR is doubled. So this is log 2, this time it is 2 SNR. So what will happen, C2 equals to, this is B, let us this is log 2 plus log 2 SNR. Okay, so log 2 this is going to be 1, then we can write b into 1 plus log 2 SNR. Now let us multiply b, this is going to be b plus b log 2 SNR. Okay, so C2 is going to be this. So this term b log 2 SNR is what? C1. From there this is C1. So C2 is going to be b plus C1. So with this, the correct option you will have is C2 is equal to b plus C1. Correct option is B. So we are done with the question number 100. Now let us go to next questions. So question number 101. Okay, so again this is from control system, from Bode magnitude plot topic. So the question is, for the asymptotic Bode magnitude plot shown below, the system transfer function can be. So we can write question number 101. So system transfer function we write k. Okay, so this is 0.1, this is 10, this is Bode magnitude plot, and this is the magnitude in dB, and this has to be in log scale. So this is log 10 of omega. Okay, so let us find out its slope first. Then slope is going to be, okay, so we are going to write slope. Slope is, this is 40 in dB per decade we will find out. So this is 40 divided by log 10, because x axis is log scale. So log 10, this is 10 by 0.1. So this is going to be 10 by 0.1. So this is 40 by log 10. Then this is 100, 100 means 10 to the power 2. So 2 will come in here, then this is going to be 40 by 2. So this is 20, because log 10 10 will be 1 here. So slope is 40 dB per decade. So this is 40 dB per decade. So this slope is plus 40 dB per, plus 20 dB, not 40, this is plus 20 dB per decade. Right, it means that at 0.1 there must be one 0. Okay, so this is 1 plus s by 0.1. After that, slope at after 10, slope is 0 dB per decade. It means that there must be one pole at 10. Then we can write 1 plus s by 10. Right, so we can write 1 plus 10s divided by 1 plus 0.1s, and k is there. If you observe, then 0 frequency line or low frequency line is constant or 0. So you can write 20 log 10, and k is going to be 0, right, because 0 dB is there. So k here you will get 10 to the power 0 equals to 1. So k is 1. Then finally transfer function you can write 1 plus 10s divided by 1 plus 0.1s. So 1 plus 10s, 1 plus 0.1s, so correct option will be A. So let us go to the question number 102. Question is from digital, and it says a certain JK flip flop has TPD equals to 12 nanosecond. So JK flip flop we are given, and propagation delay of JK flip flop is 12 nanosecond. The largest mod number of the ripple counter. Okay, so many a JK flip flop might be using to make a ripple counter, and each JK flip flop has propagation delay 12 nanosecond that can be constructed from these flip flops and still operate up to 10 megahertz. So we know T clock has to be greater than or equals to n TPD, where n is number of flip flops. So how many number of flip flops we are using, that is n. So then f clock, so clock frequency will be less than or equals to 1 by n TPD, right. So f clock we are given 10 mega, it means 10 to the power 7, so less than or equals to 1 by n, and TPD we are given 12 nano, so 12 into 10 to the power minus 9. So from this n will be less than or equals to 1 by 12 into 100, right. So n will be less than or equals to 8.33. n is number of flip flops, so n has to be integer, then roughly we can write 8. So if n is 8, then it can have 2 to the power n number of states. So total it can have 2 to the power n number of states, that is 0 to 2 to the power n minus 1. So it will have 2 to the power 8, that is 256 number of states. So what we are asked in the question, can be constructed from these flip flop and still operate at a certain JK flip flop has this the largest mod number. So mod means how many discrete how many or distinct states it have. So it have 256 states, so mod will be 256. So correct option is C. Let us go to the next questions. Question number it is 103. So this is again from control system. So what we are asked, the open loop DC gain of a unity negative feedback system with closed loop transfer function we are given. So this is unity feedback, then CS by RS. So closed loop transfer function is going to be then GS upon 1 plus GS. Okay, so this is we are given, it is S plus 4 divided by S square plus 7S plus 13. So from this we have to find out GS. So this is going to be numerator divided by denominator minus numerator. So this is going to be numerator S plus 4 divided by S square plus 7S plus 13 minus S minus 4. So this is S plus 4 divided by S square plus 6S plus 9. So this is GS, and we have to find out the DC gain of OLTF. So for DC gain is going to be gain at S equals to 0. So GS by putting S equals to 0. So this will come 4 by 9. Correct option is B. So B option is correct. So let us go to the question number 104. So question is from network theory, and the question says in the interconnection of ideal source shown in the figure, it is known that a 60 volt source is absorbing power. So this 60 volt source is absorbing power. Which of the following can be the value of current source with least absorbing power? Okay, so we have to find out the value of what can be the value of I, and we are given this 60 volt is absorbing power. So if it is absorbing power, it means that current has to flow in its positive terminal. So let us call it I1, right? So this is I1 and this was going I, so this was going 12. Then we can write I1 will be what? I plus 12. Okay, so I will be what? I will be right. So this I was coming there, and we are given 60 volt will be absorbing power, then I1. So I1 will be what? I1 will be positive, right? So I1 has to come there, then I1 is I is going there, 12 is going there, so I1 is I plus 12, right? And then I will be I1 minus 12. So this question was copied from GATE, and in actual question the current direction was this. If you will take the direction this, then no option will be coming the answer. Okay, so no option will be matching. Then the direction of current has to be this. So this is the direction of current, then you will get it. So I1, so you will get I1, so this current is coming I, so I1 plus I will be 12. Okay, and then I1 will be what? 12 minus I. Since I1 has to be greater than 0. Why? Because if the 60 volt is absorbing power, then current has to come in its positive terminal. It means that I1 has to be positive. So I1 is 12 minus I. So 12 minus I has to be greater than 0 and I has to be less than 12. So if you check the option, only 10 is there which is less than 12. So correct option is A. So they have taken wrong direction because they are copying it from GATE. So this direction was downward, not upward. Now let us go to the next question. Question number 105. It is given in a JK flip flop, J is connected to Q bar and K is connected to Q. The JK flip flop converts into. So they have given that J is connected to Q bar. It means they are saying J equals to Q bar, and K is connected to Q, and they say Q equals to Q. And we know the next state equation for JK flip flop is J plus K bar Q bar, right? And J they are given Q bar, so Q bar plus K bar means Q bar into Q. So this will be 0. So this will come out to be Q bar. It means that next state is toggle of previous state, and the which flip flop it says it is T flip flop, because T flip flop only acts as in toggle mode, right? When clock is active. So this is a T flip flop. So correct option is C. Now let us go to the next one. So next question is from signal and system, and the question is, the input and output of a continuous time system are respectively denoted by xt and yt. Then which of the descriptions correspond to a causal system? So for a causal system, we know output has to be function of, or we can say that output has to depend on either the past value of input or present value of input. Okay, so for option A, if you check yt equals to x of t plus 4, so this is depending on future value of input. How? If you put t equals to 1, then what you will get from this option? If you put t equals to 1, so y1 you will get x of minus 1 plus x of 5. So this is correct, that or this is okay, that output is depending on past value of input. This is correct. But here what is happening, we are finding the value at t equals to 1, but input is at t equals to 5. So output is depending on future value of input. So this is not causal. Similarly, in this case t plus 1 is there. So again this is not causal. How? You can check out. So y1 at t equals to 1, if you put, this will become x2. So at t equals to 1 we are finding output, and input is at 2. So output is depending on future value of input. So this is not causal. And this one you can check out, this is depending on past value, so this will be causal. Again this is not causal because it is t plus 5. So correct option is C. Let's go to the next and next question is from digital. It is question number 107. So the question is, if the function x, y are x equals to this, y equals to this, and we have to find out relation between x and y. So the same question was asked in NIELIT 2021 also. So the question is, let us find out x we are given is r plus p bar q plus r bar s. Okay, let us find out its minterms. So p q are not given, don't care. R is given 1 and s is not given, again don't care. So p q again 0 1, r s don't care. Okay, so don't care. Here p q don't care, r is 0, s is 1, right. So here 3 don't care are there, so we will have 8 possibilities. Let us write them down. So 0 0 and 0 0 1, so 0 0, okay, this is going to be 0 1 0 and 0 1 1 and 1 0 0, 1 0 1, 1 1 0 and 1 1 1, right. So these are 8 possibilities, and 1 is always there. So let us write it down, 1 1 1 1 1 1 and 1. Okay, so let us write how many minterms we are getting from here. So this is going to be 2 and then 3, this is 6 7 and 10. Okay, and this is 11 and this is 14 and this is 15. Okay, so these many minterms we are getting from this particular term, and let us write for this term. So 2 don't care are there, 4 possibilities, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Okay, and 0 1 is always there, so let us write 0 1 always. So minterms we are getting from this is 4, yes, 5 6 7, simple, 4 minterms we are getting. Now 6 7 this is. Now from this also we have 4 possibility, 2 don't care, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 and 0 1 is always there. So from this minterms we are getting is 1 5 and this is 9, okay, and this is 13. Okay, so overall from x, if I write down total minterms from x, so total minterms are 1 is there, yes, 2, yes, 3, 4 is there, yes, 5 6 7, 8 is not there, then 9, yes, 10 11 12, no, 13, yes, 13 is there, 11 13 and 14 and 15 are there. Okay, so how many minterms? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So 13 minterms are there in x. Now let us find out minterms from y. So y we are given, okay, from there we can find out. So p bar q bar r bar s bar, so 0 0 0, so 0 minterm is there, So I am writing min terms for y. So first min term we got 0, then p q r bar s bar, it means 1, this is 1, this is 0 0, it means 12. So this is 12, so 0 12, and p q bar r bar s bar, it means 1 0 0 0, so it is 8, right. So x, if you write down max term for this, max term is going to be 0 8 and 12. So if you see x max term is equal to y min term, so we can write from this x is complement of y, right. So correct option is B. Now let us go to question number 109, because this 108 is from microprocessor, which is not in GATE syllabus, so I won't deal with this. Now let us go 109. So 109 question is, the impulse response Hn of a linear time invariant system is given by this, and we have to find out, we have to comment on stability and causality of the system. So impulse response of LTI system, so the system we are given is LTI and its impulse response we are given. So for stability, this impulse response or Hn has to be absolutely integrable, means summation n equals to minus infinity to infinity mod of Hn has to be less than infinity. Okay. Now if we observe this, this is in terms of step signal, and if we see the sum of coefficient of this Hn, that is 1 plus 1 minus 2, that is 0, and we know if any signal is represented in terms of step signal, and if sum of coefficient are 0, then we conclude it is, then this Hn is finite duration and finite amplitude. Okay. And if any signal is finite duration and finite amplitude, we can say this is what? This is absolutely summable if it is discrete, or absolutely integrable if it is continuous signal, right. So we can say in this case it is absolutely summable. If it is absolutely summable, we can say this is going to be stable. Okay. So we are done with the stability. Now let us comment on causality. Okay. So if you check this Hn is, for causality we have to check whether if Hn is 0 for all n less than 0. If this condition is true, then it is causal. But if you check n, this Hn, this is existing at minus 3 to at 2 and 7, so it is existing at negative side also. So this is a left sided signal also, then we can say this that is system is non causal. Okay, because it is not satisfying this condition, simple. So we can say the system is stable but not causal, so A is true. Now let us go to question number 110. So question is from analog circuit from JFET topic. So the question is, we are given JFET in the circuit shown in the figure has IDSS is equals to 10 milliampere. So IDSS is drain to source saturation current, we are given is 10 milliampere, and Vp is minus 5 volt, and Vp is a kind of threshold voltage. If you draw its ID, Vs, VGS characteristics, then it is kind of like this. Okay. So after Vp there is a current start flowing, right. So this is IDSS, drain to source saturation current. Okay. So Vp we are given the value of the resistance Rs for drain current IDS equals to this. So drain current we are given, and we know formula for drain current when it is in saturation, IDS equals to IDSS 1 minus VGS by Vp whole square. Now how do I know it is in saturation? You can check out, this is gate, this is gate is grounded, simply you can see this is grounded, this is drain, this is source. Okay. So you can check out if Vd is greater than Vg minus Vt, this condition will be satisfied here, you can check out. So this is in saturation. Now we know IDS is 6.4 milliampere. Okay. IDSS is 10 milliampere, then 1 minus VGS we are not given. Okay. But Vp we are given, this is minus 5 and this is square. Okay. So this is 6.4 by 10, this is going to be 0.64 equals to 1 plus VGS by 5 whole square, and we are asked we have to find out Rs. So to find out RS, if you know VGS, G is grounded, so if you know S, then we can write Vs equals to IDS into RS. Yes, we can write this. So IDS we know, so we have to find out Vs. So IDS is going to be, we are given in the question, this is 6.4 milliampere into RS. RS we have to find out. So we have to find out Vs then. So from this, if we try to find out Vs, what we will get, or simply I can put here 0.64 under root going to be 1 plus VGS by 5. Okay, this is going to be what, 0.8. So 0.8 minus 1 equals to VGS by 5. This is going to be 0.2 and minus 0.2 into 5. So this is VGS, and you know a gate is grounded here, so this is going to be minus Vs. So minus Vs you will get here minus 1 here, right? So Vs you are going to get 1, right? So Vs is 1, so 1 by 6.4 into 10 to the power minus 3 is going to be Rs. So Rs is going to be 1000 divided by 6.4. Yes, so this is coming to be, so Rs will come, let me see the calculation. So Rs will be coming 1000 by 6.4. So Rs is coming 156.25. So nearby option is 150. So Rs is 150 ohm. So correct option will be B. Now let us go to next question, that is question number 111. All right. So the question is okay. So before that, let me raise this one. We will be needing more space. So the question is, a system described by the following differential equation is initially at rest. So initial condition we are given 0. So system is described by this differential equation. For input this, we have to find out output. Okay. So directly let's apply Laplace transform, and if we want to write it, so this is going to be s square ys plus 3 s ys, okay, plus 2 ys, and this is going to be sx, okay, and xt we are given what, 2 ut, okay, and in Laplace transform xs will be 2 by s, okay. So let's take ys common from here, and we will get s square plus 3s, this is going to be 3s plus 2 equals to xs is 2 by s, right, and we have to find out yt. So ys is going to be 2 by s, let's factor it, this is going to be s plus 2 and s plus 1, okay. So making its partial fraction, so a by s plus b by s plus 1 plus c by s plus 2. Okay, let's find out ABC value. So putting s equals to 0, this is 0 0 2 2, so I'll get a equals to 1, so 1 by s plus, let's put s equals to minus 1, so let's put here 2 minus 1 1 minus 1, so this is going to be minus 2, so minus 2 by s plus 1. Now let us put s equals to minus 2, so this is going to be minus 2, this will be cancelled out, and this is going to be negative, minus 2 plus 1 minus 1, and this is going to be plus 1, so 1 by s plus 2. So I made partial fractions, and from this if I take inverse Laplace transform, so this is going to be ut, okay, so minus 2 e to the power minus t ut, and then plus e to the power minus 2t ut. So if I take ut common, then this will be 1 minus 2 e to the power minus t plus e to the power minus 2t and ut. So the yt will be this, and with this the correct option will be A. Let's go to next question. So next question is okay. So question is 112. The question is compute the value of the expression given below. There I represent the base of the number system. Okay, so this the question is from digital electronics, and we are given summation I equals to, we have to start from 2 and up to 9 and 10 I, where I is base, and we know how do we write in terms of base. So we can write it 10 base 2, and we don't say 10, we say it only 10. So 10 base 2 plus 10 base 3 plus 10 base 4 dot 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 10 base 9. Okay, so let us write it 2 to the power 0 into 0 plus 2 to the power 1 into 1 for this one. Similarly for this one, 3 to the power 0 into 0, 3 to the power 1 into 1. Similarly for this one, 4 to the power 0 into 0 plus 4 to the power 1 into 1. So like this we will keep on writing up to 9. So ninth one we will write 9 to the power 0 into 0 plus 9 to the power 1 into 1. Okay, so this is going to be 0 and this is going to be 2, this is going to be 3, this is going to be 4, so this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and like this we will keep on writing. It will be 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and this is going to be 9. So plus 9. So we will add up, then this is going to be 2, 3, 5, 5, 4, 9, 9, 5, 14, 14, 6, this is going to be 20, 27, and 27 plus 17. Okay, 7, 7, 4, and this is going to be 44. So the correct option is going to be D. Now let us go to next question number 103. The question is in the circuit shown the power supplied by the voltage source. So voltage source is 10 volt, and we have to find out how much power is this 10 volt supplying. So we know power is I into V. So P is I into V, and let us say I current is coming out from this 10 volt battery. So this is going to be I into 10. So our job is to find out this current I. So to find out it, to find it out, I is 1 ampere coming here, 2 ampere coming here, so 3 ampere will be coming from this, and 3 and I, so 3 plus I will be going here, right, and 3 plus I, 1 will come in this branch, then this current will be 2 plus I, right. Now let us apply KVL in this branch. Okay, so KVL is 10 minus 1 ohm plus 1 ohm, this is 2 ohm, and current is coming in 2 ohm is 3 plus I. So this is 3 plus I minus 1 ohm and 1 ohm again 2 ohm, and current is 2 plus I. So minus 2 into 2 plus I and equals to 0, right. So this is 10 minus 6 minus 2I, okay, and this is minus 4 minus 2I equals to 0. 6, 4, 10, and this will go, this will be cancelling out, then this is going to be minus 4I equals to 0. So I is going to be 0. If I is 0, let's put it here, here. So then power is going to be 0 watt. So no power is supplied by this 10 volt. So correct option is A. Now let us go to next question number 114. So this is a question from signal and system from jet transformation topic. So the question is the system with the given transfer function given below, and Hz is this. So if you observe Hz, this is a numerator polynomial, this is denominator, so this is a rational, right. Hz is rational, so numerator by denominator. If you check, degree of numerator is 3 and degree of denominator is 2. So this is improper transfer function, we can say this is improper transfer function. And in case of if numerator power is greater than the denominator degree, then we say it is not causal, or we say it is a non-causal. So directly we can say this. So this is a non-causal, D option. Now let us go to question number 105. This question is from communication system from FM topic. The question is consider the frequency modulated signal 10 cos 2 pi into 10 to the power 5t plus 5. Okay, so there is a mistake because in angle modulation, either it is FM or it is PM, the angle modulation expression we have is St equals to AC cos theta IT. So this is AC, 10 is AC, and this entire thing has to be inside this cos. This is like this. So now this question is correct. So what you are asked, the carrier frequency of this is 10 to the power 5 Hz, then the modulation index we have to find out. So in case of FM, okay, frequency modulated signal we are given. So in case of f1, we know modulation index is delta f maximum, that is maximum frequency deviation divided by maximum frequency component in the signal. Okay, so divided by f maximum. So from this let us write theta it. So theta it we are given is 2 pi fc, fc is 10 to the power 5, let's say, or we are given in the question. So 2 pi fct plus 5 sine this plus 7.5 sine. Okay, so this is theta it, and we know we have to find out delta f it or delta f maximum. So we know omega it is going to be what? D by dt of theta it. Okay, and from this let us find out omega it only first. So we will get from there 2 pi fc plus, let us differentiate this one. So this is going to be 5 into 2 pi into 1.5k, 1.5k, because this is 1500, I am writing it 1.5k, and sine will be cos, right. Similarly here 7.5 into, again we are differentiating it, so I will get 2 pi into 1k, this is 1000, I am writing it 1k, and again the sine will come out to be cos. So this is omega it. Now let us find out delta omega I or delta omega. Delta omega will be what? Omega it, or the this is deviation in the radian frequency. So omega it minus 2 pi fct will be, this is 5 to the 10, and this is 15 or 1.5 k pi, simple, cos plus this is going to be 7.5 into 2 or 15, and this is k. So this is going to be, okay, this is going to be 15k, because 5 to the 10 and 1 0 will be cancelling out this decimal term. So this is going to be 15k pi. Similarly this is also going to be 15k pi and cos. Okay, and if we take delta omega I maximum, then this is kind of a cos omega naught t plus b cos omega naught t. Its maximum is going to be mod of a plus b. So this is going to be 15k, and this is also 15k. So this is going to be 30k pi, right. So this is delta omega I maximum is 30k pi, and f I maximum we will get, if we divide by 2 pi, this is going to be 15k hertz, right. Now this is fi, and fm we find out from this. If you find, this is going to be 1.5k, and from this it is going to be 1k. So we have to take maximum one, so this is going to be 1.5k. So fi maximum is this, and f maximum, this is delta fi actually. So f maximum is going to be 1.5k. Now let us find out beta. It is delta f maximum divided by f maximum. Okay, so it is 115k divided by 1.5k. So this is 10. So correct option is B. Now let's go to the next question. NMOS device have lower or faster switching speed and lower or higher on state resistance. So for NMOS we know mobility of electron is greater than mobility of hole. So mobility is deciding the switching speed. So electron mobility is higher, so NMOS have higher switching speed. So NMOS device has, we will say, faster, because it has the higher mobility. And on state resistance, we know on state resistance for NMOS is going to be 1 by mu n COX W by L VGS minus VTS. So this is for NMOS, and for PMOS, so for PMOS this R on is going to be 1 by mu P COX W by L VGS of PMOS minus VTS. Okay, so if you see, we know mu n is greater than mu P, then resistance of NMOS going to be lesser than resistance of PMOS. So this is going to be lower. So yes, faster and lower is going to be correct answer. So B option is correct. Let's go to the next question. Question number 107. So this is easy question. 10-bit ring modulator. For the ring modulator, if number of bits are n, then its mod going to be n. So for this, mod is going to be 10. 4-bit Johnson counter, if number of bits are n, then mod is going to be 2n. So for this, mod is going to be 8. And mod 10 ripple counter, mod have 10. So total mod is going to be 8 into 10, 80 into 10, 800. So frequency will be divided by 800. So frequency of C will be 10 into 10 to the power 6 by 800. Okay. So 20 will be cancelling out, or this is going 10 to the power 5 by 8. Okay. So this is how much? 100 by 8 kilohertz. Okay. So this is 12.5. So B option is correct. So next question is the value, the eigenvalue of A square where matrix A is defined. So if you observe this, this is upper triangular matrix or lower triangular matrix. So for triangular matrix, if eigenvalue A has lambda, then A square will be lambda square. So it has eigenvalue main diagonal elements. So A having eigenvalues -1, -3 and 2. Then A square have the eigenvalues square of these. So 1, 9 and 4. Okay, very simple. Let's go to next question. Question number 119. A Zener diode in the circuit shown has a knee current of 5 milliampere. Knee current means Zener diode's minimum current. So IZ minimum we are given 5 milliampere. Okay, and maximum allowed power dissipation. So Vz into Iz maximum is 300 milliwatt, and Vz we are given 6. So Iz maximum we can find out from this. This is 300 by 6. So this is 50 milliampere, right? So and we are given what are the maximum and minimum load current. So IL maximum and minimum we are asked. So let us say source current is coming Is and Zener diode are having current Iz and load current is IL. So we write Is equals to Iz plus IL. Okay, so we can write Is equals to, if Zener diode is having minimum current, that is Iz minimum, then load will be having maximum. So IL maximum. This is called load regulation. Okay, because load is varying. And if we write here, Is is going to be 9 minus 6. So 9 minus 6 by 50. Okay, equals to Iz minimum is 5 milli plus IL maximum. From here we can find out. So IL maximum, this is 5 milli. So we have to find out IL minimum and maximum current in milliampere. So 5 milli plus IL maximum going to be 9 minus 6 is 3. So 3000 I can write, to write it in milliampere divided by 50. So this is going to be 60. So 60 minus 5 equals to 55. So I maximum is going to be 55. So similarly you can find out minimum also. So for minimum you will write Is equals to Iz maximum plus IL minimum. So Is is 60 milliampere we found just now, and Iz maximum we had 50 milliampere. Okay, so from this you can find out IL minimum is 10. So IL minimum is 10 milliampere. So we are asked minimum and maximum load current, and IL minimum is 10. Yeah, so the correct option is 10 milli, 55 milli. So the correct option with this C. Now let us go to our next and last question, that is question number 120. This is from analog circuit oscillator topic. So the circuit shown below employs a positive feedback and is intended to generate sinusoidal oscillation. If at a frequency f0, feedback factor beta f, that is Vf by V0. So here Vf, here is V0. So this voltage we are given, okay, this is Vf. So question number 120, and Vf by V0 we are given 1 by 6. So this is Vf. So VGC is valid. So this is also be Vf. Now let's apply KCL here. So Vf minus 0 by R1 equals to V output minus Vf by R2, right? Then Vf will take common, so this is going to be 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 equals to V naught by R2, right? Then this is R1 plus R2 by R1 R2 equals to V naught by R2, and this is Vf, and Vf is 1 by 6 V naught. Okay, so V naught will cancel out, R2 will cancel out, then R1 plus R2, from there we will write 6 R1, so 5 R1 equals to R2. This is the relation between R1 and R2. So R2 is 5 R1, so B option is correct. So here we complete the technical part of this NIELIT Scientist B 2017 question paper, and this is all about this video. So we will end this video here. So see you in the next one. Thank you.